Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining in this video. And the title of this video is set as Jupiter, Saturn, and the Karma of Marriage. Okay. So this is important to understand because when it comes to marriage or relationships, we always assign a great importance to Venus as the character for marriage. Of course, Venus is important, but then when it comes to marriage, Jupiter and Saturn hold a very important position. Okay, they represent a lot of marriage related karma, and how they do that we're going to understand in this video. Before we begin, let's start off with understanding the house of marriage and relationships, which is of course the seventh house. Okay, so the seventh house is not only the house of marriage, it's also the house of partnerships. So that having said, Jupiter and Saturn also play a very important role in forming partnerships that last for long. Okay, and remember, Saturn always exalts in Libra. Okay, Saturn exalts in the natural seventh house. So no matter what people may say to be that Saturn is the breaker of marriage or Saturn can break a relationship, in reality, Saturn has a very important position or a very important role to play in sustaining the marriage of individuals. And that is something we are going to look in this video. Okay. So first of all, to analyze the seventh house, you must not only look at the planets that are in the seventh house or the lord of the seventh house, but you also have to look at the aspects on the seventh house. Okay. And remember, Karaka of the seventh house is, of course, Venus. Okay. So Venus not only tells you about how the marriage will be like, but also how the partner will be like. Okay. But then in addition to this, you all need to determine the karma of marriage. And this is pointed at by Jupiter. Okay. And all the astrologers would agree that Jupiter holds a very important position, especially in the chart of a woman, because it represents the husband. Okay. And if you look at the, importance of Jupiter, Jupiter is the law. Okay. Laws include legal laws, moral laws, religious laws, and so on. So, for example, if a girl grows up in a family where the father is pretty much absent, which means that the mother sets the law, the father is not even in the picture, or the father does not take part in the upbringing and life of the family, then the girl, when she grows up, is going to do the same thing as the mother. Okay, she is not going to accept her husband as her, as a protector. She is not going to accept her husband as the legal law enforcer in the marriage, and thus will try to set rules in the relationships. And this is a problem because when the rules in the relationships and family are set by females, which are actually supposed to be set by males, it can blur the roles that are played by the mother and the father, and that can lead to a lot of family dysfunction. Okay. And what usually happens in these cases is that when there is no father and even the mother does not set the rules, then when the girl marries, the girl will not usually understand, the importance of the husband and what to do with him. Okay. And when a woman raises a child alone, even if she is married, this means that, she will never recognize the importance of a man and a father as a law setter. Okay. And in turn, what happens is, the child, as he or she grows up, will deny the male presence of a family in the family, will devalue the male presence, and will establish that, the mother as well as the mother is the alpha and the omega. Okay. And this is how, personalities get distorted. Okay. So what happens is, when a woman does not accept her husband as law, it means that Jupiter is weak or afflicted in the chart. It also means that the ninth house is weak or afflicted. Why? Because the ninth house, the natural ninth house, is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the karaka of the ninth house. Okay. And this is the house which is regarded as the house of law and religion, and this is the house which is regarded as the house of the father. Okay. But then this is not to promote some patriarchal idea. Okay. It is just to bring to light what Vedic astrology actually says. Okay, Vedic astrology also says that Jupiter is not only the law, it also indicates good luck and blessing. And of course, we all want to be lucky in our partnerships. Okay. And naturally, if Jupiter is weak or afflicted, then the marriage karma becomes very difficult to manage or handle. Okay. And it makes no difference whether or not Jupiter has an association with the seventh house itself. Okay. There is a trick here as well. It is very necessary to analyze the entire horoscope in order to understand what a person will consider luck. Okay. For example, a strong and wealthy, sexually attractive woman who loves a responsibility free life will not consider an attentive and gentle partner a success, which means that, for her, this is not a case of luck. But for a female who has been brought up in a very, in a very functional family where both the mother and the father have made an equal contribution, would actually consider such an attentive and gentle partner as an asset. Okay. So even this is about perspective. Okay. Now coming to Saturn and how it affects marriage karma, Saturn does it in a different way than Jupiter. Okay. Saturn is all about responsibility and patience. Okay. For example, say if a woman has a weak Jupiter but a strong Saturn in the chart, then such a female may consider this as a cross that she has to carry. Okay. Now, if both the planets are weak, then I would always advise such clients to first understand the rules of marriage, first understand the ways of bringing up a family before getting married. Okay. And Saturn is all about agreements and traditions. And the strength of Saturn determines whether a person is going to adhere to the agreements and traditions that are associated with marriage. Okay. And remember, without patience, no marriage is going to last long. Okay. Unfortunately, in this fast and furious world of today, not everyone understands the meaning of patience. And as a result, marriages usually collapse. Okay. Now, Venus is responsible for the pleasure factor in the marriage. Okay. And if Venus is strong in the chart or in general, it is going to be the leading planet. No matter how responsible the partner is, if there is no desired pleasure in the relationship, the relationship will not be much valuable. Okay. And that is the reason why there is so much of infidelity in marriages you see around you. Okay. For some people, marriage may be necessary. For others, it could be just a matter of convenience. Okay. Now, this is not meant to say that the modern approach to marriage is wrong. Okay, everything changes, including human values. And modern psychologists, say that comfort becomes a very important factor in marriage. Both the partners need to be comfortable. Okay, and for those who have the influence of Mars on the seventh house, this would be very difficult because Mars is the soldier. Mars would make things very difficult. Mars would make things very uncomfortable. Okay, and don't associate Mars with only quarrels and conflicts. Mars is also associated with passions. Okay, Mars is all about adrenaline, which most of the people don't know how to get in legal ways. Okay, and I had a client, a female as such, who was of the opinion that life is boring without quarrels and scandals. Okay, but then if those quarrels and scandals extend to becoming mental problems, then there can be very, very bad accidents. Okay. So it is believed that Saturn reduces the longevity of marriage if it is present in the seventh house. But remember, Saturn also makes you patient. And as I said, patience is very, very important for making a marriage stick. Okay, so remember that all relationships are karmic. Okay, there are no such things that happen by that do not happen by karma, that do not happen by fate. Okay, but then don't extend the word karmic to to pinpoint to situations which gives you orgasmic pleasure. Okay, every situation that you encounter, every person that you encounter, every relationship that you have is karmic. That is 100% sure. Okay, but then if you have a bad Saturn or a bad Mars, your relationships can break very, very painfully. Okay, so understand the role of these planets in marriage. understand that they are not there to cause you suffering, but only to deliver you important life lessons through your partner. And I'm sure you would find yourself, looking at yourself when you look at the eyes of the partner. What I'm trying to say, I might be unclear because of this. I'm not being able to frame it in a proper way. What I mean to say is that once you understand the role of these planets, which are in the seventh house or which influences the seventh house. Okay, maybe Saturn and Jupiter are not influencing the seventh house. But once you understand the role of these planets in sustaining your marriage, then these planets, instead of making you suffer, would actually give you a great idea about who you actually are. And that idea is going to flow through your partner. Okay. So I hope I have made myself clear. Okay, it's a complex topic to understand. Maybe, you can request me for another video where I can tell you in details about how Jupiter and Saturn affects the marriage. But then this is all for today. This is all that I wanted to share. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done that already. And if you want to get a consultation, please reach out at the number that is given in the description box. So that's it from me in this video. I'll see you soon in yet another video. Namaste. Om Gurave Namaha.